Good Monday evening, Southeast Texas. Welcome to 12 News Plus. We're going to take an in-depth look at your forecast over the next 15 minutes or so. Right now, looking at some high clouds coming in. You saw that up on Jasper and over here in Port Arthur. This view courtesy of Market Basket, part of the roofing at 911 Skycam network. So the plan is for the clouds to move on in. Still going to be a cold night, likely to get into the mid to upper 30s and lower 40s. And then with a gray day coming up on Tuesday, it'll be chilly. Then we warm up on Wednesday, maybe well into the 60s as another cold front comes through. Then Thursday will be colder and dry. Then we warm up on Friday as another cold front comes through, and that'll knock temperatures down to below normal levels coming up this weekend. Overall, it looks mainly dry over the next 7 days. Pretty quiet forecast over the next 7 days. It's just basically how cold and how warm we'll get, basically a temperature forecast over the next 7 with the cloud cover, how much cloud cover we're going to see each day with very little chance of rain. It may get down into the mid 30s in the lakes, certainly the upper 30s to lower 40s across southeast Texas. We'll go with 59 coming up tomorrow afternoon with partly sunny skies. I'm not going to go with any rainfall. This is my forecast. Now let's see what modeling shows. It doesn't show. It does show some sprinkles, and that is possible with highs in the upper 50s. So lots of clouds tomorrow. And for the lakes area, we'll go with highs in the upper 50s. Again, with lots of clouds. Not going to go with any rain up even in the lakes area. And 58, 59 up that way. So pretty standard, pretty uniform temperatures across the area coming up tomorrow with lots of cloud cover. The clouds will be on the decrease coming up tomorrow night. This is all due to an upper level disturbance. 63 is our normal high. After Monday, our normal high starts climbing. So again, we're in the coldest part of the year related to climate as far as the averages, and then by Monday the normal goes up to 64. But as you can see, Wednesday and Friday are our two warm days, if you will, with highs in the mid to upper 60s. Otherwise, high temperatures will be below normal as we head through Tuesday, Thursday, and much of this weekend across southeast Texas. As far as rainfall, there's maybe a sprinkle coming up on Tuesday, but that's not going to add up to too much. And then maybe by Monday, we might get an isolated shower in the long range forecast. Below normal rainfall is expected over the next 7 days. This is the wettest it could be over the next 7 days with very little to maybe 1/10 of an inch of rainfall, and that could be a stretch across our area. So the drought will only worsen. We're now down, let's see, because of the rains on Friday night, the deficit since January 1st is down to 1.4 inches. It will be going up through the week, obviously. And since December 1st, we're at 3 1/3 inches below normal. That's why there is a moderate to severe drought into southwestern Jefferson County. This probably won't change too much because of the rains that we saw on Friday. Otherwise, we'll wait for that update coming up on Thursday. So again, you can see how the clouds are coming in from the southwest. Temperatures now down into the 40s to around 50 degrees. Yes, there are some returns on radar, but we just don't think that that is going to be enough to be able to produce showers over our area tonight or tomorrow, because from the clouds down to the ground is dry air. So a lot of those drops that you see on radar are returns, radar returns, or showers you see on radar. Those will likely be evaporating before reaching the ground. So it looks just dry to me. Otherwise, temperatures are running about 4 to 10 degrees, 4 to 9 degrees colder than 24 hours ago. As temperatures across the state are fairly mild. We got into the 60s across North Texas, back over to Oklahoma, but a lot of 50s out there right now. Nothing excessively cold across the state of Texas. And as you can see, a lot of cloud cover coming in from the southwest. You can see the spin up right there. This is an upper level disturbance over towards Old Mexico, approaching the Big Bend of Texas. And as you can see, a lot of upper level energy. So water vapor showing that, and I've superimposed the disturbance. So that is what is causing the clouds. It'd be nice to get some rain out of this, but it doesn't look very promising with the atmosphere so dry over our area right now. So for tonight, we're looking at the clouds gradually increasing and temperatures dropping into the 30s to lower 40s. So coats tomorrow morning, no doubt about that, and you'll probably wear them all day long. There you go, the 30s there. It could get down into the mid to upper 30s and lower 40s. And then for tomorrow, a lot of gray. And then look at here. Now this is just modeling. And again, this is probably not going to be reaching the ground, but a sprinkle is possible. Otherwise, I don't think we're going to get up much above the mid to upper 50s coming up tomorrow afternoon. And that's the back edge of the clouds as this disturbance moves away from our area. So we ought to see skies becoming, or at least decreasing in cloudiness coming up Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So taking a look at the upper level pattern, this is the disturbance, kind of an upper level low right there over towards Old Mexico, and another piece of energy kind of spiking around it right there. There's your upper level low. This is going to come on around because it's being steered by this northerly flow in the upper levels of the atmosphere. And it will accelerate as this next trough of low pressure comes on down. You can see this trough in the northern flow. That is going to push this disturbance in the southern flow that is going to bring us the clouds off to the east. So that goes by our area coming up tomorrow. And then we get that front through, and then it cools down as we head towards, say, Thursday. Then another trough of low pressure will be coming down on Saturday. That will bring a front down on Friday. Northwesterly flow. And there's another potential disturbance coming in as we head towards Monday. So there's potential that we'll certainly get 2, maybe 3 fronts over the next 7 days, with very little rainfall expected over the next 7 days. So it's a pretty quiet forecast across southeast Texas. So mostly smooth seas on the Gulf tomorrow, good boating conditions at least, with mostly smooth seas around a foot, northerly winds tomorrow at 5 knots, only one high tide at Sabine Pass at 2:48 p.m. Our forecast tonight becoming mostly cloudy, could get down into the mid 30s, certainly the upper 30s in the lakes area, and close to 40, maybe the low 40s here in the triangle with calm wind. So coats in the morning, no rain gear expected tomorrow. It looks mainly dry, maybe a sprinkle. Otherwise, partly sunny to mostly cloudy, a chilly day. We're going to be optimistic and go upper 50s, but there's a real chance if these clouds are thicker than what we think, and we're mostly cloudy to cloudy, then we'll probably not get out of the mid 50s coming up tomorrow. So prepare for cold weather tomorrow. Then, as we work on into Wednesday, we warm up. Very mild afternoon as we get southwesterly winds ahead of this cold front coming in Wednesday afternoon. It's just a cloud maker. No showers. All the showers are off towards the east. So it looks like after that, we'll cool off on Thursday, back in the 50s with the low into the 30s and highs only in the mid 50s. And then another cold front comes in on Friday, and that means cold weather Friday morning. Look at this. Could be into the mid to upper 30s on Friday morning. That looks like the coldest morning over the next 7 days, but no freezes. That's the good news. A mild afternoon, almost near 70 coming up on Friday. The next front comes in on Friday, and that will knock temperatures down into the 30s to near 40 over the weekend with lots of sun each afternoon, but highs will struggle to get out of the 50s, maybe around 60 to the low 60s coming up this weekend. And then as we head towards the Dr. Martin Luther King holiday on Monday, looks partly sunny, maybe an isolated shower. We have certainly seen colder King holidays than what we're going to see this year. It looks like a low of 40 and a high near 60 with partly sunny skies. So that's a look at your 7-day forecast across southeast Texas. If you're just joining us, looks like a cold morning coming up tomorrow morning across southeast Texas. It's possible mid to upper 30s lakes area and into the upper 30s to lower 40s here in the triangle across southeast Texas as the clouds really start thickening up after midnight. And this disturbance is going to come through tonight and tomorrow. And it's like a gray day. It also means that we'll likely see temperature struggle out of the 50s, mid to upper 50s coming up tomorrow. Fast forward into, say, Wednesday, then we'll get southwesterly winds. See that? Those southwesterly winds will warm us up well into the 60s coming up. But unfortunately, this front coming in is just going to be a cloud maker at most. and it doesn't look like we'll get any chance of rain really to speak of, maybe a sprinkle at best as that front comes in Friday, or I should say Wednesday afternoon. And then it's back down to colder weather as we head towards Thursday, back into the 30s for lows ahead of Friday's cold front. As far as rainfall, this is the most we think that you'll get over the next 7 days, and it's probably on Monday that we'll see our best chances. And as you can see, some areas not seeing anything, and it's likely that it will be less than what you even see here. So it looks like the drought will worsen. That's why we're not going with any rainfall right on into the weekend. Maybe an isolated shower coming up on Monday, and that is iffy at this point. The Euro AI, the GFS AI, the EPS, a lot of the models not going any more than a 10 to 20% coverage of light rain coming up next Monday. So that's what we're keeping our rain chances low. So normally our high is 63 this time of year. We're colder than normal on Tuesday. Wednesday we warm up as that next cold front comes in. We get southwesterly winds ahead of that. Then we're colder on Thursday, then warming back up to 68 on Friday as another cold front, a stronger cold front comes on in. That'll knock lows into the 30s once again over the weekend, and highs struggle to maybe 60 degrees with lots of sun coming up over the weekend. By Monday, it looks like partly sunny skies, maybe a sprinkle, but Monday we turn the corner. We're in the coldest on average point of the year. Normally our highs are at 63 right on through Sunday. By Monday, the average goes up, and it will continue to go up right on into summer as we are turning the corner on Monday with warming temperatures. By Friday morning, though, this looks like it'll be the coldest morning, but it doesn't look like a freeze right now. So really no real cold, frigid weather on the forefront. It looks like pretty standard stuff, lows in the 30s, mid to upper 30s coming up Friday morning. That looks like the coldest morning. Then as we head on into tomorrow afternoon, mid, maybe upper 50s across the area. It just depends on how thick the clouds are on Tuesday. We'll go with a little bit of sun. That may kick us up to about 59. But if the clouds are thicker, let's say it's gray and we don't have any sun, we're not getting out of the mid 50s. So you'll need coats coming up tomorrow. That disturbance will move out, and we'll get more southwesterly winds coming up on Wednesday. And that means a nice warming trend well into the 60s with lots of sun on Wednesday, as the winds then turn to the northwest and become quite breezy as a colder air mass moves on in rapid succession between Wednesday and Friday's front. So a cold morning on Thursday, a chilly afternoon, and then by Friday another cold front comes through, but not before we reach 68, maybe 70 degrees coming up on Friday afternoon. And then that front comes through with no rain, very little cloud cover, and the weekend looking fairly chilly, as you can see. Lows maybe in the 30s to near 40 on Saturday morning and into the mid 30s on Sunday morning. And as you can see, highs in the 50s to around 60 degrees. And then Monday, as we head on into the King holiday, looking at just an isolated shot of some showers, certainly looking a lot milder compared to what we've seen in times past. We have certainly seen colder King holidays. We're going with partly sunny skies, maybe an isolated threat of a shower coming up on Monday. Lows near 40 and highs near 60. Otherwise, the front, as I said, coming in on Wednesday is not going to bring us any rainfall the way it looks right now. And that will bring us a nice cool down